one of the things that is really not easy about the learning process in a college classroom is that the assumption that I have of a student, and I think many instructors have, is that when the lecture process is exposing ideas to students that probably were a priori completely outside of their knowledge base, right? Um, and this gets into, in my mind, the model of concept diagrams or concept definitions versus concept images. But like the process of constructing robust concept images is you know, in this word would be long form conception, right? Like really taking an idea that you've never seen before and then building from first principles that idea in your own mental model so that you can articulate it and you can, so I can articulate it, I can actually build upon it. I think the second one's challenging with best critique and comparing with best alternatives. Those are really designed for knowledge creation, right? Like in order to challenge an idea with the best critique, I have to understand what that idea, I have to kind of understand the entirety of that idea. And so I think like from the standpoint of a novice learner or somebody that's like learning to become a professional learner, I think those second two, the number 2 and 3 are more advanced critical thinking strategies. From the standpoint of your statement about students that think that they can Google answers, the knowing where an answer is or what the answer is very different than knowing why the answer is that way and how to generate that answer for yourself, right? And I think that's one of the major things that comes up a lot in college classes. It is true that having context experts teach classes is pretty powerful because those people are responsible for generating new knowledge, right? And the part of the gauntlet, part of the tradition of college education is to give thinking skills to the next generation so that they could generate that knowledge on themselves. And I think, you know, if it's the case that people say that they can Google some of my answers, then I might say that I'm not doing a very good job of in that class because I'm not pushing. That sounds like maybe I need to push them a little bit harder. Um, but I do think that, you know, capturing the, for novice learners, being able to capture the difference between exposure and then being able to generate that knowledge on your own from first principles, that skill is a valuable one. I have to listen to the rest of his argument because I think that those sentences are contextualized in a much larger story that he's telling, right? Um, but that's part of the idea of lecture rewrites is to create a log of that knowledge creation process, right? So to take the initial exposure that is represented by a lecture and to slow it way down and to generate each idea in that lecture from first principles in the student's own, in my own, in the learner's own language, right?